Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
That's it. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Today is Friday, the 16th of May. We've made it to the end of another week. Weekend is upon us, so we see that we have a moon sign of Sagittarius. We made that transition yesterday, so that's where we're at. Sun sign is still the same in Taurus, where it will be the rest of this week, and next week we make the transition out of Taurus into Gemini. Squares and triangles or conjunctions, we could see that there was several that took place already leading up to this part of the day. We had a trine between Sagittarius, our moon sign, and Neptune. Also, between Uranus and also between Venus. And then we had a conjunction, which was the moon sign, Sagittarius, opposite from Mercury. So, we see things here. We've got our imagination, we have communication, we have unexpected changes, all dealing with issues of truthfulness, Sagittarian ideas. So these are all things that have already occurred, aspects that took place, and you may feel some effect of those over the course of the day as they are moving through their paces. Alright, this weekend we're moving to a Capricorn moon. We're going to be making that transition in the middle of the night. And we'll be there all weekend long in that Capricorn moon, and when we get back on Monday, we'll be making a transition into Aquarius. So that's where we're at. So we're going fire, and then we're going to switch into Capricorn over the weekend. Numerology for today, we're at a number 1. Here's the way in which we arrived at this. 5 plus 16 plus 2014. That's 5 plus 7 plus 7. That would be 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. We could see that the cards that are involved with this that are used to help tell the story would be the Magician, number 1. So you've seen this plenty of times now. Magician, focused concentration. That which is above is as that which is below. That's why you have one hand up high and one hand down low, showing that all the elements are available. So the Magician, which is all of us, knows how to create, because the Magician knows how to take the fire, water, and the air and bring it down and to manifest the earth. Okay, so that's what's going on with number 1, the focus concentration. Let's take a look over at our tree to see where things are. We have the 1 coming out of the crown to understanding. We have the Hierophant for Taurus over here, same as it has been. And then our moon sign right here, Sagittarius right in the middle. Okay, and then when we move into the weekend, here's where we're moving to the other side of things right here with Capricorn. Alright, current moon phase, 95% of the way full, making its way back down. You could tell that because it's waning. Waxing means going up, waning means going down. Look for Mercury as bright twilight darkens. It's low in the west northwest, far to the lower right of Jupiter. Mercury is coming into its highest apparition of 214 for Skywatchers in northern, mid-northern latitudes. And you can see here's So as we're looking, we're going to look below the moon and we'll see Antares Scorpio down here. Okay. Mayan Oracle, we're at a 3-tone day, the 3rd day in the wave spell of the Warrior. Today's the day of the Mirror, activation, or the Electric Mirror, which is activation. We have the guide for today is the wind, so we have the Electric Mirror guided by the wind, or the activation of reflection guided by inspiration. I activate in order to reflect bonding order. Seal the matrix of endlessness with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of spirit. Space weather, solar winds currently at 339.3 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is quiet. Coronal holes, nothing, but we do have a little bit of something down here seeming to form. We'll keep an eye on how that unfolds. M-class flare possibilities hanging at 30%. M-class, X-class down to 5, and geomagnetic storm activity is pretty low. And over here on our Jewish calendar, today would be 16 Lyre. Okay. And that gets us started for today. UFO news is up next. Here we go.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. Today's first story takes us over to New Zealand. This was back last month on the 3rd. We have a couple in the sky here in Queenstown, New Zealand. Yes, it caught my surprise when I got a chance to view the final cut before the show went on the air. Just happened to stop the footage right when the objects appeared at the speed they were traveling. We worked out about 4,000 kilometers an hour. They were half a K away. And they came out of the forest. This was the first week of April on the South Island of New Zealand, and the same shaped objects were filmed in the Netherlands the same week. Weird or what? Alright, and they're up in this area here. And you can see them. They come very, very quick. Alright, you gotta really look. They happen right in this area. There we go. Alright, that's number 1. Moving on from there, here we have a Russian Proton Rocket taken out by a UFO, maybe. And if so, it happened today. Russian time. Here we go. Here's an image. See what we have here. Okay, we got a rocket taking off. Look at that great technology we have here. Sending fire everywhere just so we can take off. Extraterrestrial technology is much, much better. Alright. Video itself 2 minutes 31 seconds in length. And boom, something just flew into that. And look at that, it breaks apart. See that? Comes in again, hits it, and oh look, it breaks apart. And that's the end of that. Alright, so UFOs don't like us shooting missiles around. And down goes the missile, the rocket. Okay, moving onward. Alright, this is that guy Jim Martin. He captures a lot of UFO sightings. Some say his sightings are real. Some say that he maybe not so much. I think we should all just take it all with a grain of salt and just kind of see, because you know, he does capture some good things from time to time. And as a matter of fact, the area where he happens to be filming over the Pacific Ocean, a friend of mine lives out in that same general area. And there's been times when I've gotten calls from my friend telling me about the sightings he sees in the middle of the night out there. He hasn't taken any pictures or anything. And then I'd end up finding video that this guy Jim Martin took, who's out in the same general area, and they do match up. At least do match up on the times when my friend has seen stuff when videos have been turned in. So, alright, so check this out. Remember, with a grain of salt, just see if you think it's real, think if it's not. There's a lot of hoaxers out there. We want to make sure that we're not fooled by the hoaxers. Here's a story specifically about hoaxing. Ex-Air Force law enforcement agent Richard Dottie Major hoaxed UFO stories, by Alejandro Rojas. I've been researching UFOs for many years, delving deep into the underbelly of the UFO lore, and one name seems to frequently pop up. His name is Richard Dottie, and in the 1980s, I was a special agent for the U.S. Air Force of Special Investigations stationed at Kirkland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Claims that while working there, he was tasked with hoaxing documents and feeding false information to the UFO researchers. The Air Force refuses to comment on whether they knew of his activities, and his claims of partaking in this activity at the behest of his superiors is accurate. It would not be so bad if the stories of the secret UFO crashes and management groups, such as the fabled MJ-12, were not the subject of a large amount of books, movies, video games, television shows, and who knows what else. He says that he acted as a consultant for the X-Files, which is one of the very few tall tales of his that might actually be true. Dottie's story has changed over the years, and some of the details of the stories are conflicting. In frustration with the whole situation, I decided to send the Air Force Freedom of Information Act request to find out more. I also wanted an official response regarding whether he was ordered to create these hoaxed documents. At first, the AFOSI Public Affairs chief was very helpful. She expedited my request, and I received some very interesting documents. I was told that when my Freedom of Information Act request was brilliant, she would help me find someone I could talk to for an official statement. However, as soon as I got the document, she would no longer talk to me. What was in the documents was very interesting and corroborated some of the legend around the Dottie affair. The story begins with a man named Paul Benowitz, who owned a humidity equipment company with contract at Kirkland Air Force Base. His house and his office were near Kirkland, and I believe seeing UFOs was part of the basis that the nuclear weapons housed. I also believed it was receiving special transmissions from aliens flew those UFOs. Surprisingly, the Air Force humored him. They sent out an officer to Dottie to investigate, but further investigations decided that was unwarranted. A few days later, Benowitz was allowed to present his evidence to some of the officers and scientists at the base. He wanted to grant to conduct more research, and one of the scientists said I would help to fill out the paperwork Benowitz for the draft. The document was also 2 U.S. senators that state from New Mexico had called or shown up at the Kirkland to check on the investigation of Benowitz and his ET contacts. Apparently, Benowitz had sought their help. Both times the senators were told there was no investigation. Dottie claims they were told that what senators told were not true. Dottie says I was told to make Benowitz believe there was an impacting alien invasion, was actually observing because Benowitz's secret Air Force projects. According to Dottie, the Air Force wanted to discredit Benowitz so no one would figure out that. Dottie, however, claims that in doing so, I've created documents hoaxed that were given to Benowitz and other UFO researchers, and that I broke into Benowitz's house and office, some, if not all of which, is illegal. Alright. So very interesting indeed. Moving on. UFO moved at supersonic speed, claims a witness. Roger Marsh, UFO examiner. California witness at Highland recalls a UFO counter when 4 bright lights were observed in a rectangular pattern, moving slowly before accelerating, moving away at supersonic speed. According to a May 7th testimony, the witness was 18 years old in October 65 when the event occurred. About 10:30 p.m., I started to unlock my front door and I heard a pulsating, whirly sound I never heard before since. I turned and looked in the direction and saw 4 bright lights, floodlight types about 3 feet in diameter, pouring straight down. The night was crystal clear, but I couldn't see anything but the lights. The Craft was moving about 10 miles an hour from west to east over a mobile home park on 9th Street, about 250 feet away. At first I thought someone had invented a new flying power plant. It was making such an odd sound. As it moved east, a tree blocked my view, so I moved to regain my line of sight and observed it cross Central Avenue about 75 feet north. The lights then began to ascend north-northeast, accelerating from about 10 miles an hour to more than supersonic speed in 1 second, without any sonic boom, and blended into the stars, then disappeared. Okay. An alien agenda, Tim Schwartz. Our mass media is on an extraterrestrial kick. Watch any television or read any current magazine and you'll find at least one reference to UFOs and their alien pilots. Print ads and TV commercials abound with space aliens and their antics. It seems the popular notion is that UFOs or flying saucers are spacecraft from other planets. Many researchers no longer ask, what are UFOs? Instead, they question, what planet are they from? But what do we really know about unidentified flying objects? As an investigator of UFOs know, the phenomena is multifaceted. It seems first to be one way, then suddenly another. People witness what appears to be unknown solid objects in the air that suddenly fade away like ghosts. Others come into contact with beings that seem to be from unknown craft. These creatures come in all shapes and sizes and claim to be just about from anywhere. There have been so many witnesses over the years that we can no longer simply dismiss all such sightings as mistakes, hoaxes, or delusion. But neither can we simply accept UFOs at face value as visitors from other planets. Strange sights in our skies is nothing new. For as long as we have had written records, reports of UFOs have been made. Strange entities are always not new to mankind's history. Many such beings in the past have claimed to be from the heavens. Since the earliest times, mankind has felt that there must exist a mind superior to his own. Until now, man has always thought of the supreme being in a religious context. That is why, until the Industrial Revolution, sightings of UFOs and contacts with strange creatures were thought of as mystical experiences. With science as the new religion, the former gods and angels have now turned into ETs and Greys. In 50 years, we have witnessed the birth of the new religion, the Church of Interplanetary Visitors. As with other religious, proof is not needed, only faith. What is it that has converted so many to extraterrestrial dogma? From the very beginning of the modern UFO era, 1947, some witnesses claim to have been contacted by occupants of the flying saucers. These creatures said to be from other worlds, usually planets from our own solar system. The contactees were shown pictures of the home planets. Some even claimed to have been taken to these other worlds. They were convinced their experiences were real. Not every UFO sighting led to an occupant sighting, nor did all entity sightings lead to communication with the witness. During the UFO Europe flap of 52, strange creatures apparently associated with the UFOs were reported by witnesses. However, there was little actual communication between the beings and the witnesses. Generally, the stories are the same. The witness, while out at night, spots a strange metallic object on the ground. Close by is seen one or several humanoids. After a few seconds, the being re-enters the object, which then flies away. The entities sighted range in description from tall blonde, blue-eyed humans to short, hairy dwarfs. As time went by, these creatures no longer ran away, but instead sought to communicate with people, usually to warn of the dire results of using atomic weapons, a favorite subject of aliens in the 50s. They also spoke of their home worlds, places of utopian peace and beauty, but now further away in the solar system or as close by as the center of the hollow earth. Again, the witnesses accepted what they heard as truth. They spread the information through self-published pamphlets, books, radio talk shows, and television. These contactees were universally laughed at and discredited. However, maybe we should have considered that the contactee had a real experience, but was fed false information. Emanuel Swedenborg once wrote, "When spirits begin to speak with man, you should not listen to anything they say, for surely they will lie." Perhaps our friends from the flying saucers are kin to the spirits that Swedenborg wrote of. They tell such wondrous tales. What are we dealing with then? The UFO phenomena does seem to be controlled. It does follow intelligent patterns. but the information given to us by UFOnauts is generally false and is perhaps a deliberate smokescreen to cover up what is really going on. Whatever the UFOs are up to, they are doing it on a worldwide scale, and it's inevitable that they should from time to time come in contact with some of us. When such contacts do occur, they deliberately hand out ridiculous information. Other belief systems are exploited. The whole mystery has been designed not only to keep us confused and skeptical, but to convince us that we are hosts to visitors from other planets. Someone is very interested in keeping this idea alive. There's a lot more to this article. I'm going to leave that for you to read and to decide, is there an agenda? Or maybe there isn't an agenda. Maybe it's just what it is. And finally, UFO disc shape, UFO over Indiana Cemetery. This goes back to the end of April. Witness recalls UFO in an event in the Claypool ceremony late one night. The summer the event occurred was in July '75 when the witness and family members were playing Ghost in the Graveyard. I was about 10 years old and my cousin and other witnesses was about 14. My aunt had called the others inside and me and my cousin were on the opposite end of the cemetery from the mobile home, still walking back. He was about 20 to 30 feet from me. I'd stopped and was waiting on him, and he walked toward me. I was facing south. Suddenly he put his hand up, pointing at the sky, and said, "What's that? Look." Saw a large circular disc coming toward us, and it almost went over our heads. It was about 100 feet off the ground and about 20 to 50 feet in diameter. It was light gray and had the letters USAF on the bottom of it on one side and alphanumeric on the other. The young witness did not know what USAF stood for, but called out to his cousin. "It's a flying saucer," and as it flew by, it stopped in midair, hovered a few seconds, descended to land on the other side of the wooded side, south of the cemetery. It made an electric humming noise and a slow pulse and an air rushing noise, not like any heavy jet noise but it may have had jet air. After it landed, cousin ran back to a fence by the wooded area for a look. We could see two dark silhouettes get out and saw a red light. One of them appeared to be holding a red light. My cousin went over the fence and through the woods. I stayed put. He came back, covered in mud, and said that he saw two men in jumpsuits. They didn't see him. She didn't think it was possible. I wrote the letter USAF on a piece of paper and said it was written on it. She did not believe it. She would not let us go back and look. All right, more to the article. You check it out. That's UFO news, but you could see USAF, Air Force. So we could see that back in '75 they already had some technology that is out there. So very fascinating. That is our UFO news. I'll be back. Stay tuned. This is Confirm or Deny.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Underground is where they live. In the bases that are secretive. We're not supposed to know where they come from or where they go. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lies? Plausible deniability. That's their answer to all we think we see. So pay attention. Read between the lines. Changes are happening, revealing lies. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lies? Underground where they live, in the bases that are secretive. We're not supposed to know where they come from or where they go. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lies? I can neither confirm or deny. They can neither confirm or deny. It's time for them, confirm or deny. No more secret lies. I don't know about you, but I can't stand it anymore. I know what I saw. You know what you saw. Stand up for yourself. Think for yourself. The truth is out there. No more lies. No more lies. No more lies.
No more lies. All right. So, today, I decided to pull up information on the Gospel of Thomas. Are you familiar with the Gospel of Thomas? Well, if not, you shall be. Gospel of Thomas says, this is gnosis.org, Nagham /NHL_Thomas. All right, here we go. There is a growing consensus among scholars that the Gospel of Thomas, discovered over half a century ago in the Egyptian desert, dates to the very beginnings of the Christian era and may well have taken first form before any of the four traditional canonical Gospels. During the first few decades after its discovery, several voices representing established Orthodox biases argued that the Gospel of Thomas was a late 2nd or 3rd century Gnostic forgery. Scholars currently involved in Thomas studies and now largely reject that view, though such arguments can still be heard from other Orthodox apologists and are encountered in some of the earlier publications of Thomas. About Thomas, today many students would agree that the Gospel of Thomas has opened a new perspective on the first voice of the Christian tradition. Recent studies centered on GTH, which is the abbreviation for the Gospel of Thomas, have led to a stark reappraisal of the forces and events forming orthodoxy during the 2nd and 3rd centuries. But more importantly, the Gospel of Thomas is awakening interest in forgotten spiritual legacy of Christian culture. The incipit, or the beginning words of Thomas, invite each of us who has ears to hear to join in a unique quest. These are hidden words that the living Jesus spoke, and that Judas Thomas wrote down. And he said, whoever finds the meaning of these words will not taste death. The Gospel of Thomas collection in the Gnostic Society Library catalogs materials about the Gospel of Thomas available in both our archives and elsewhere on the internet. Included are audio lectures about the Gospel of Thomas, links to a wide variety of internet resources, including several academic articles and essays, a bibliography of Gospel of Thomas manuscript sources. Despite the wealth of material available here, the reader should also consult a few important books on the subject. An annotated selection of the best available transcriptions of the Gospel of Thomas and publications about the Gospel of Thomas is provided in the suggested reading section of our bookstore. We sincerely hope these resources help you in your studies of this most remarkable document. And then, of course, we have links to the English translations here. This is 3 excellent and widely used translations of the Gospel of Thomas are available in our library collection. We prefer the Lambden translation for personal reading, but each edition adds its own nuance of understanding. This is a text that reveals itself freshly with each new reading. Take it slowly. Each saying stands independently, full of meaning. And we have Greek fragments for those who understand this and others. Okay, so let's get to the Gospel of Thomas, shall we? We're going to go to the Lambden translation. Here we go. These are the secret sayings which the living Jesus spoke, and which Didymus Judas Thomas wrote down. And he said, whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death. Jesus said, let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will become astonished, and he will rule over the all. Jesus said, if those who lead you say to you, see, the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, it is in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you. When you come to know yourselves, then you will become known, and you will realize that it is you who are the sons of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, you dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty. Jesus said, the man old in days will not hesitate to ask a small child, 7 days old, about the place of life, and he will live. For many who are first will become last, and they will become one and the same. Jesus said, recognize what is in your sight, and that which is hidden from you will become plain to you. For there is nothing hidden which will not become manifest. His disciples questioned him and said, do you want us to fast? How shall we pray? Shall we give alms? What diet shall we observe? Jesus said, do not tell lies, and do not do what you hate, for all things are plain in the sight of heaven. For nothing hidden will not become manifest, and nothing covered will remain without being uncovered. Jesus said, blessed is the lion which becomes man when consumed by man, and cursed is the man whom the lion consumes, and the lion becomes man. And he said, the man is like a wise fisherman, who cast his net into the sea and drew it up from the sea full of small fish. Among them the wise fisherman found a fine large fish. He threw all the small fish back into the sea, and chose the large fish without difficulty. Whoever has ears, let him hear. Jesus said, now the sower went out, took a handful of seeds and scattered them. Some fell on the road. The birds came and gathered them up. Others fell on the rock, did not take root in the soil, and did not produce ears. And others fell on thorns. They choked the seeds, and worms ate them. And others fell on the good soil, and it produced good fruit. It bore 60 per measure, and 120 per measure. Jesus said, I have cast fire upon the world, and see, I am guarding it until it blazes. Jesus said, this heaven will pass away, and the one above will pass away. The dead are not alive, and the living will not die. In the days when you consumed what is dead, you made it what is alive. When you come to dwell in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. But when you became two, what will you do? The disciples said to Jesus, we know that you will depart from us. Who is to be our leader? Jesus said to them, whoever you are to go to James the righteous, for the sake of heaven's sake, and earth came into being. Jesus said to his disciples, compare me to someone and tell me who I am like. Simon Peter said to him, you are like a righteous angel. Matthew said to him, "You are like a wise philosopher." Thomas said to him, "Master, my mouth is wholly incapable of saying whom you are like." Jesus said, "I am not your master. Because you have drunk, you have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring which I have measured out." And he took him and withdrew and told him 3 things. When Thomas returned to his companions, they asked him, "What does Jesus say to you?" Thomas said to them, "If I tell you one of the things which he told me, you will pick up stones and throw them at me. A fire will come out of the stones and burn you up." Jesus said to them, "If you fast, you will give rise to sin for yourself. And if you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give alms, you will do harm to your spirits. When you go into any land and walk about in the districts, if they receive you, eat what they set before you, and heal the sick among them. For what goes into your mouth will not defile you, but that which issues from your mouth, it is that which will defile you." Jesus said, "When you see one who is not born of woman, prostrate yourself on your faces and worship him. That is your Father." Jesus said, "Men think, perhaps, that it is peace which I have come to cast upon the world. They do not know that it is dissension that I have come to cast upon the earth, fire, sword, and war. For there will be 5 in a house, 3 will be against 2, and 2 against 3, the father against the son against the father, and they will stand solitary." Jesus said, "I shall give you what no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched, and what has occurred to the human mind, and what has never occurred to the human mind." The disciples said to Jesus, "Tell us how our end will be." Jesus said, "Have you discovered then the beginning, that you look for the end? For where the beginning is, there will the end be. Blessed is he who will take place in the beginning. He will know the end, will not experience death." Jesus said, "Blessed is he who came into being before he came into being. If you become my disciple and listen to my words, these stones will minister you. For there are 5 trees for you in paradise which remain undisturbed summer and winter, and those leaves do not fall. Whoever becomes acquainted with them will not experience death." The disciples said to Jesus, "Tell us what the kingdom of heaven is like." He said to them, "It is like a mustard seed. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it falls on tilled soil, it produces a great plant and becomes shelter for the birds of the sky." Mary said to Jesus, "Whom are your disciples like?" He said, "They are like children who have settled into a field which is not theirs. When the owner of the field come, they will say, 'Let us have back our field.' They will undress in their presence in order to let them have back their field and give it back to them. Therefore I say, if the owner of the house knows that the thief is coming, he will begin his vigil before he comes, and will not let him dig through into his house of his domain to carry away his goods. Then you be on guard against the world. Arm yourself with great strength, lest the robbers find a way to come to you. For the difficulty which you expect will surely materialize. Let there be among you a man of understanding. When the grain is ripened, he came quickly with his sickle in his hand and reaped it. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear." Jesus saw infants being suckled. He said to his disciples, "These infants being suckled are like those who enter the kingdom." They said to him, "Shall we then, as a child, enter the kingdom?" Jesus said to them, "When you make the 2 one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and the female one and the same, so that the male will not be male nor the female female, and when you fashion eyes in the place of an eye, and a hand in place of a hand, and a foot in place of a foot, and likeness in place of likeness, then you will enter the kingdom." Jesus said, "I shall choose you 1 out of 1,000, and 2 out of 10,000, and they shall stand as a single one." His disciples said to him, "Show us the place where you are, since it is necessary for us to seek it." He said to them, "Whoever has ears, let him hear. There is light within a man of light, and he lights up the whole world. If he does not shine, he is darkness." Jesus said, "Love your brother like your soul. Guard him like the pupil of your eye. Jesus said, you see the mote in your brother's eye, but you do not see the beam in your own. When you cast out the beam of your own eye, then you will see clearly to cast the mote from your brother's eye. Jesus said, if you do not fast as regards to the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath as a Sabbath, you will not see the Father. Jesus said, I took my place in the midst of the world, and I appeared to them in flesh. I find all of them intoxicated. I found none of them thirsty, and my soul became afflicted for the sons of men, because they are blind in their hearts, and they do not have sight, for empty they came into the world, and empty too they seek to leave the world. But for the moment they are intoxicated. When they shake off their wine, then they will repent. Jesus said, if the flesh came into being because of spirit, it is a wonder. But if spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders. Indeed, I am amazed at how this great wealth made its home in this poverty. Jesus said, where are the three gods? They are gods. Where are two or one? I am within him. Jesus said, no prophet is accepted in his own village. No physician heals those who know him. Jesus said, a city being built on a high mountain and fortified cannot fall, nor can it be hidden. Jesus said, preach from your rooftops that which you will hear in your ear. For no one lights a lamp and puts it under a bushel, nor does he put it in a hidden place, but rather he sets it on a lampstand, so everyone who enters and leaves will see its light. Jesus said, it is not possible for anyone to enter the house of a strong man and take it by force unless he binds his hands. Then he will be able to ransack his house. Jesus said, do not be concerned from morning until evening, and from evening until morning about what you are to wear. His disciples said, when will you become revealed to us, and when shall we see you? Jesus said, when you disrobe without being ashamed, and take up your garments and place them under your feet like little children, and tread on them, then you will see the Son of the Living One, and you will not be afraid. Jesus said, many times you have desired to hear these words which I am saying to you, and you have no one else to hear them from. There will be days when you will look for me and will not find me. Jesus said, the Pharisees and the scribes have taken the keys of knowledge and hidden them. They themselves have not entered, nor have they allowed to enter those who wish to. You, however, be as wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Jesus said, a grapevine has been planted outside of the Father, but being unsound will be pulled up by its roots and destroyed. Jesus said, whoever has something in his hand will receive more, and whoever has nothing will be deprived of even the little he has. Jesus said, become passers-by. His disciples said to them, who are you that you should say these things? Jesus said to them, you do not realize who I am from what I say to you, but you have become like the Jews, for they either love the tree or hate its fruit, or love the fruit and hate the tree. Jesus said, whoever blasphemes against the Father will be forgiven, and whoever blasphemes against the Son will be forgiven. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven, either on earth or in heaven. Jesus said, grapes are not harvested from thorns, nor are figs gathered from thistles, for they do not produce fruit. A good man brings forth good from his storehouse, an evil man brings forth evil from his evil storehouse, which it has in his heart, and says evil things, for out of the abundance of the heart he brings forth evil things. Jesus said, among those born of women from Adam until John the Baptist, there is no one superior to John the Baptist, that his eyes should not be lowered before him. Yet I have said, whichever one of you comes to be a child will be acquainted with the kingdom, and will become superior to John. Jesus said, it is impossible for a man to mount 2 horses or to stretch 2 bows. And it is impossible for a servant to serve 2 masters, otherwise he will honor the one or treat the other contemptuously. No man drinks old wine and immediately desires to drink new wine. And new wine is not put into old wineskins lest they burst, nor is old wine put into the new wineskin lest it spoil it. An old patch is not sewn onto a new garment, because a tear would result. Jesus said, if two make peace with each other in this one house, they will say to the mountain, move away, and it will move away. Jesus said, blessed are the solitary and the elect, for you will find the kingdom. For you are from it, and to it you will return. And Jesus said, if they say to you, where did you come from? Say to them, we come from the light, the place where the light came into being on its own accord and established itself and became manifest through their image. If they say to you, is it you? Say, we are its children, and we are the elect of the living Father. If they ask you, what is the sign of your Father in heaven? Say to them, it is a movement and a repose. All right, you can see there's a lot more here. I'm going to end it after having read 50 of them. Pretty good stuff. So there's a lot here, and perhaps we'll continue on with more of this in the future. But for the moment, we're going to continue on with the next bit here. This is a story over at In5D. And this one comes from Greg Prescott. This one is called Raising Your Vibration Through the Universal Law of Soul Evolution. And that's what it's all about, raising our vibrations, right? We have all heard the term raising your vibration, but what does it actually mean, and how can it be raised through the universal law of soul evolution? In the simplest terms, raising your vibration involves making selfless, positive choices in your life by living through your heart. Everything boils down to energy, including vibration. When your positive energy rises, so does the vibration of every cell in your body. For example, if you performed a random act of kindness for someone else without truly expecting anything in return, then you not only affected the life of someone else, but you also unknowingly helped to raise your own vibration. The premise is similar to a Reiki master. When you perform Reiki on someone, you are not only helping to heal that particular person, but yourself as well. Conversely, when you do lower third-dimensional things, such as watch violent movies or television programs, you are lowering your vibration through fear. This is why those in power use fear as a tool, because when we live in fear, we can easily be controlled. The choice is yours, but eventually, whether it's in this incarnation or in a subsequent incarnation, we will all learn this lesson as part of our soul evolution. Before you incarnated here, you were surrounded in unconditional love. This is your true spiritual reality. When you practice unconditional love, you are bringing yourself more into balance and in harmony with your spiritual reality. While no one is perfect, virtually everyone has performed some sort of disharmonious act in their life, which allows each person an opportunity to learn from those lessons while overcoming all obstacles through unconditional love. You incarnated here through these lessons while fulfilling your soul contract. This may involve various karmic relationships, which in turn will present the opportunity to not only end the wheel of karma, but to raise your vibrations as well. In the end, you want balance and harmony in all areas of your life. The best way to attain this is through raising your vibration. A Rosicrucian belief is that your goal in life is not to be happy. Happiness is an emotion, not a goal. Your goal is to have as many experiences as possible, and within those experiences, you will find happiness. It is within these experiences that you will be presented opportunities for soul evolution. They say that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. This is also true for the lessons we fail to learn within the 3D dimensional reality. This is why so many people keep incarnating on Earth again and again to learn these lessons. The universe is quite blunt when it comes down to which lessons you need to learn. For example, you may find yourself going from one abusive relationship to another. Unless you end the wheel of karma and learn how to use better judgment in finding a suitable partner, you will continue to experience these lessons within and future lifetimes. There are at least 12 dimensions of consciousness, and within each dimension there are new challenges for soul evolution. Right now we are at the bottom of the totem pole, and it's easy to be persuaded by lower dimensional forms of entertainment instead of working on our spiritual progression. Watching television is one of the biggest forms of mind control on the planet. The objective of those in power is to keep you living in a vibration of fear, which can easily be attained by watching TV. A secondary objective is to keep you distracted. Think of soul evolution this way. When you do your life review, do you want to see yourself sitting in front of a television with a remote control in your hand? How did watching TV help your soul's evolution? In what way were you able to express unconditional love? By watching TV. In what ways did watching TV help humanity? And here we have a number of ways to raise your vibration. 15 ways. 1. Intend to raise your vibration. Just simply the act of intention. 2. Practice Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian code of forgiveness. This is a really cool one. It means to make right or to rectify an error. You use these 4 phrases. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Okay, that's a really good one. Forgive yourselves and others. Very important. Not only forgiving ourselves, but forgive ourselves from past lives. Surround yourself with like-minded friends. Very important. Having gratitude. Using positive affirmations. It says be the example of what you want to be. Even if you think no one is watching, everything you do is being recorded onto your own Akashic records. Eat healthy. Very important to raise your vibrations. We know about the GMOs. Love yourself and others. Love is a vibration that raises our vibrations. Accept others for who they are. Laugh. Very important to have laughter in our lives. Eliminate watching TV. Meditate. Play with your pets and enjoy nature. It says there is no fast track to your soul's evolution because there are specific things we all need to learn during this incarnation that will help us to move to the next level of our spiritual progression. However, there is one thing that is working in our favor. Thoughts are manifesting quicker than ever, so take advantage of this opportunity to not only raise your vibration, but in raising your vibration of those around you, your soul will thank you. Also, please keep this in mind. When you raise your vibration and the vibration of others around you, you're also helping your soul's evolution. All right, very cool. Good stuff, good article. You know, that's what we're all about, raising our vibration, moving up to the next level. It's like a video game. We're just trying to increase levels, get to the next level. All right, here is our message for today. This is from Archangel Chamuel. Check it out.
Archangel Chamuel, you are free of suffering.
Bayut Posega, Rudel.
Dearest humanity, please consider your true state. In truth you are free of suffering. Please remember that suffering is not happening in your true heart. But what you are suffering is indeed a dead mirror world, an artificially created world of broken light, a world which is not of the one divine light, and which is therefore not a true emanation of divine creation. It has to do with the split mind. This false world has been arising because you left the true seat of living divine consciousness by creating a consciousness that is separated from your true divinity, repeating itself again and again. If you are captured in the false dream and the false and dead worlds of separation, then of course you are projecting a false identity, something exterior of your true divine state. It is a fall out of the living wholeness of God's mind. But this is the time where you do no longer need to exist in this false world, where you do no longer need to maintain and repeat this mistaken projection. This is the time where grace is given to return to truth, to recognize and understand the very nature of the worlds of shade, error, and deception and return to the truth of your divine heart, to recognize your true home, your true essence, and abide as such. Please understand that the shadow worlds are nothing but a continuous recreation of your separate mind, a misconception, a misleading paradigm, a misleading belief. Through millenniums now it has become a deeply rooted conviction and identification with something you are not. Humanity, now the time has come to use discrimination, to discern, to exercise discernment between these two. The false projection, the shadows, that caused and induced separation from your own truth, and the living world, the world of radiance, the world of love, the world of joy and heart fulfillment. It is the world of mere divine being, your own divine liveliness, your inherent fullness, your happiness, the holy life that you recognize at the very depth of your heart, and that is nothing but living truth and wholeness and divine ecstasy. You, dearest humanity, have now come to the point where you remember your divinity. And therefore you are able to step back from the false creations and understand that they are creations that have been happening not in the divine mind but that they are indeed the creations of your own split mind, forgetful of God's heart. Remember that you are God alive, and as you are God, you are of light, and you are of love, and as such a God now live the heart life of living love and living divine light. Observe whatever is still hidden in your own radiant heart, what is still occurring to your awareness and feeling, what is coming up in your mind, in your consciousness, which is not of this living wholeness, of this sweetness, of this love. Understand it is still part of the old deceptive shadow world. But do not worry. It has no substance, although it might seem to you because of repetition. Only know and understand that you need to continue to open your heart, no matter what, and ask the servants of divine light to shine through it, to purify it. Forgive yourself, and allow it to vanish in the living radiance of the divine heart. This might take in your terms, time, my beloved ones, but know it will cease, and it will cease to exist forever. The radiant sun of your heart and the love of it, and the light of it, and the joy of it, are the means to heal all wounds, created by the shadows in the illusion world, to heal all dark memories, all pain, all suffering. So do not be concerned, if it is not immediately happening today. There is divine grace, and there is divine forgiveness. And this encompasses all humanity, all of you. Because divine life is forever alive. I love you and I bless you. The new world, the new humanity, the original divine humanity is already here. I am Archangel Chamuel.
Alright, thank you, Archangel Chamuel, for that message. Let us go to our meditation for today. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. Another deep breath. Contemplate the words as you exhale and inhale of this affirmation. I am forever grateful for my wonderful life. I am forever grateful for my wonderful life. And imagine yourself now walking down the path of life, and you see many, many others along that path. And as you see them, you recognize in everyone you see a part of yourself, a reflection of who you are. And as you look around and really stop to look and see everyone around you, you realize how much everything is reflecting back to you what is inside of you. So you take a moment, you stop and you close your eyes and you imagine all of these reflections that are out there. All of these reflections coming together inside of yourself, joining together. And you open your eyes and there is no one else there, for you have absorbed and brought into yourself all of these aspects of you. And as you bring together all of the aspects of yourself, you find wholeness. You feel wholeness. You realize that everyone and everything in life is simply reflecting to us who and what we're about. And as we can understand and look at that reflection, we understand a bit more of ourselves. Who we are, why we're here, what we're doing. And we realize the importance of looking in the mirror to see the reflection that is there. And then understanding the steps needed to go and fix the reflection to match that which we truly have in our hearts. And as we match the integrity of our heart with the reflections around us, we see that they change to match that which is part of us. And the chaos and confusion around our lives dissipates because we are moving in harmony with reflections of harmony, reflections of peace and love. So let's imagine ourselves walking through the world today, seeing reflections of peace and love and harmony all around us, recognizing when we see them, and silently taking time to thank those reflections for showing themselves to us. So let us continue on that journey of reflection today, and let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. Open your eyes. All right, that is it, my friends. That is it for the show for today. We've made it through the week. Enjoy the weekend. Capricorn moon, Sagittarian moon today. Go back, read the stories, things to watch, all kind of fun stuff, right? Have a great weekend. Hope it's nice where you are and you can get out and enjoy yourself. I'll be back Monday with more news and information. Enjoy the reflections around you. Keep loving each other. And I'll do the same. Peace. I'm out of here.